This Sunday, February 5th, it is time to cleanse things with fire. It is a full moon in Leo, and that means we are getting to the truth of the matter. So there have been a lot of illusionary aspects that have been popping up this last little while, or even blockages where we're like, why is this happening? I'm not sure why this is happening. How come I'm running into a wall constantly? How come things aren't necessarily working out for me? Well, the truth is about to surface. And when we get to Sunday, it's really going to clarify in a larger way what needs to be done. And a lot of the times what needs to be done is just to get to that personal truth about what you're doing. Sometimes this is a release of egoic attachment. So this could be attachments that we've made due to past patterns, due to past conditioning. This could also be the sense of self. So are we transforming? Are we entering a new period of the self? Are we trying to release any sort of old habits, which I think is a big part of this full moon in Leo, because Leo is such like a very truthful, heart-centered sign. And there's also the shadow side of Leo, which is like completely egoic and always wants to be like the hero, or they want recognition, or they need validation. So look for ways where you're trying to find validation that doesn't necessarily feel truthful to you, that doesn't feel like sitting in your actual essence of who you are or who you're becoming, because we do transform over time and we do develop different personas based on what we've learned and how we've grown. So a really good point to check in with during this full moon in Leo is just to monitor your growth. How much have you grown? Are your resources in line with your new values? That's a really good thing to tap into. And if you're not really sure, I've developed this practice about how do I feel beforehand, how do I feel during, and how do I feel after. You can use that process with people, places, things. We could also use it for like food or drink. We could also use it for spending or any sort of like habitual things that we do. How do we feel before, during, and after we do it, or after we connect or engage with a person, place, or thing? So that's a little medicine. I just wanted to pull some cards and see what pops up for this full moon in Leo, because it is all about truth, and only you know what your truth is. I can't, and nobody else can actually tell you what your truth is. That is an internal heart-centered direction. But let's see some things that we might want to keep in mind while we're navigating this full moon in Leo. Wow. Justice, balance. This is the card of inner truth. If you can see, this sword is light blue here. This light blue sword stands for the power of receptivity, okay? This is being receptive to what you're doing, who you're engaging with, what's making you feel balanced, what's not. And also, this Justice card in this deck is an 8. And when we turn an 8 on its side, it's a lemniscate. It's the infinity symbol. So what are your loops? Recognize your loops and break through that glass ceiling. This could also, can you see that there's that little dot on her third eye as well? This is getting better in tune with your intuition, which is the center of truth. So that's a really good marker as well. And I just wanted to pull one more card because like that was just very blatant. That was like the card of truth, and that it will come to surface in and around this full moon. Ooh, and we have the Two of Wands reversed, okay? So when we have the Two of Wands reversed, we need to learn something new. There is a learning curve. How come we are not letting this learning curve in? How come we are turning a blind eye to this learning curve? Sometimes this Two of Wands is also saying that you need to go back and revisit your passions and maybe start slow. Being a beginner means that you actually do get to make mistakes and you get to learn how to do things your own way, also how to do things in a way that feels truthful and balanced to you. So the Two of Wands essentially is like, why are you learning what you're learning? Are you negating that? Are you turning a blind eye to those lessons that are being shown to you? And if so, how can you look at it from a different perspective? How can you sit with that and try to balance that out or remain receptive and act when the moment of truth comes or when the action is heart-centered? So Leo full moon on the 5th. It's going to be a very eye-opening experience. It's also in between two eclipses. So this is a halfway marker. It's a really good time to notice how far you've come and align to some of those new goals that are going to be completed in the future.